I'm gonna be honest with you. Pretty much anything that can harm a human or the environment makes its way into a lab. So OSHA standards that are relevant to your work could very well cover the whole gambit, from air contaminants to extremes of temperature. This training isn't meant to deep dive into each of these. We've got other courses for that. But there are a few heavy-hitting points I've just got to get across to you. 1. You have the right to know what you're being exposed to in any work environment. Safety data sheets will be your go-to resource for understanding what known hazards you'll be facing in terms of chemical exposure. This can range from simple cleaning materials to hazardous waste. You'll want to be thinking about the health, physical, and environmental hazards of anything you're working with. 2. Despite being at the bottom of the inverted hierarchy of controls pyramid, that PPE has got to be maintained and worn properly. It's the employer's job to supply all PPE required for known hazards, but it's your job to wear it right, keep it clean and functioning, and communicate if something's not quite right or needs to be replaced. Speaking of communication, HazCom, short for Hazard Communication, has got to become like a second language to you. The safety data sheets are part of this, but the nuts and bolts include properly labeling and, when needed, relabeling containers to identify chemicals and hazards, developing and maintaining a written hazard communication plan, reading placards, and overall, you got to know how to interpret product identifiers, pictograms, signal words, a slew of stuff. Like I said, we've got more detailed trainings to help you get into the weeds on this stuff, but for now, what you got to realize is hazards are everywhere. They depend on the type of work you're doing, and they're foreseeable, meaning you can prepare for them. Handling hazardous materials? Select the right gloves. Noxious fumes involved? Choose the appropriate respirator. Hazmat situation? Suit up. No, put that tux down, fool. I mean, don scrub suits, coveralls, and other gear. Alright, great. You're all suited up. What could possibly go wrong? That's a good question. Let's see. You're surrounded by chemical hazards like acids and flammable materials, biological hazards like bloodborne pathogens, bites or stings from animals, insects, or even humans in the lab, physical hazards like poor ergonomics. Ouch, my back, said every lab rat ever, eventually. And of course, general safety hazards like cryogenics, open flames, situations requiring lockout-tagout procedures for maintenance. The list just goes on. Depending on your work, you may even be dealing with radioactive materials. Bottom line, look before you leap.